Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Campbell Talk. And tonight we have a very special show. All of our shows are always special, but tonight we have a very special, um, interesting topic that we'll be discussing that oftentimes we don't really talk about. And we have a very special guest who we will be bringing on soon. We are going to call him Rashed, and from the Middle Eastern area. We'll just say that. We just want to make sure that we protect his identity and for safety reasons. But we're going to be talking about LGBTQ individuals and life in the Middle East. And so we can talk about some of the ins and outs of that, and how that's all navigated, and then we'll provide some additional resources where you can kind of like contribute and help Rashid to be able to access some resources to help him in getting certain things that can help him to make life a little bit easier. So, without further ado, well, actually, we're gonna jump into our intro. We'll be right back.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening. How are you?
I'm doing great, Ricardo. How about you?
I'm doing excellent.
Thank you for having me in the show. I'm very honored and pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me. Appreciate that so much.
No, thank you for agreeing to being on the show and for
My
telling your
pleasure.
story. We look forward to, we're gonna ask you a bunch of different questions, of course.
Sure.
And so, like, to all our viewers out there, if you have questions, comments, feedback, go ahead and put it in the post. We'll do our best to get your question answered live on air. And if you're watching this, please like, share, and tag somebody. All right. So, tell us about yourself, Rashid.
Well, I'm 40 years old and I'm from the Middle East. I'm so sorry. I can't really tell where exactly I'm from the Middle East. Um, I have grown. I have been the happiest boy ever. Grown up like any normal kid back in the Middle East with an Islamic background, and where I had to pray 5 times per day, go to the mosque, go to Islamic lectures. Where I have been living in a very conservative country. My dad was a conservative as well. My mom was conservative, and oh, I had this feeling inside of me, um, like when I look up a magazine or something, or models. I used to refer to them though. This is this is my father. What I meant by like looking at a guy wearing underwear or a model in general, I referred to him as a dad. I didn't know what gay meant, or so because my dad was a little bit of abusive, so whoever it was handsome and had a great body, when I was young, I used to call him. I want that to be my dad, not as daddy as the gay. Um, Whatchamacallit, the gay that is being daddy that is being used these days. No, it has nothing to do with it. I was a young boy, didn't know anything about being gay, And I, because my dad was so abusive, so I always try to replace the image of my father, abusive father, inside of my head with a hot model, and I wish that was my dad. But in let's talk more honest and with honesty. I meant it something else. So when I grew up in age, like I was referring, like I wish if that was my boyfriend or my husband or my hubby or my friend or I'm sorry, excuse my language, sexual partner, in other words. And unfortunately, I had to flee my home, my mom and my dad and my sister. Excuse me. It's not. It was Richardo. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. It was a bumpy ride. It wasn't easy to. It's not like the United States is in the backyard. Is in my backyard. I had to fly for 16 hours just to get to safety. What I'm very thankful for thankful for is um, having English that I speak it fluently, and I had a B1 B2 tourist visa, American tourist visa, which was issued by the American embassy in Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia, it's okay. I said it. It's not a big deal. And I just didn't think. I just immediately acted. I had my credit card, just purchased the ticket with no thinking, with no hesitation. Took the first flight that takes me to the United States. I should have thought about other countries, but since I had only the American visa on my passport, I just did it like I told you. I didn't hesitate, or I just ran away. Bam, like in a snap of a finger. Um, while the aircraft was decreasing its speed over the Canadian airspace, I didn't feel safe flying over Europe. No offense to the European people in Europe, it has nothing to do with them. But number two, I felt safe, so safe flying over the Canadian airspace because I was assured neither Canada or the United States is going to hand me back to the government of my country, which is Saudi Arabia. That's where I'm originally from, and I made it. And I'm so happy for so far with what I have accomplished. Um, uh, the mic is back to you, Richard, if you have anything to add. That's in deep, like short, long story short.
Okay. So, what would it be? Would it be? Sorry, my
That's all
alert
right.
just popped up. Uh,
Take your time.
it caught me off guard for a little bit. What what would it? Because it's usually silent, as I was just like, what?
Yeah, I understand.
Um, it's just So you mentioned that there was no kind of like word or example of what like a gay person is. So how like would is it like forbidden? Is
Oh
it
yeah.
what would be some of the consequences
The
that
consequences, let's say, like, okay, for example, I got caught texting with a guy. For example, my mom saw it, my dad saw it, and one of my brothers, elder brothers, saw it. I'm gonna be beaten up or being taken to a psychiatrist. They think they can cure being gay by taking Xanax, any antidepressants. But the actual thing, if I was like, let's say, physical with someone who's gay, physically, and we both got caught, we might be transferred to public prosecution back home, and the public prosecution is going to transfer us to jail, and that's where we're going to be disciplined. And That's when the judge, the Islamic judge, is gonna rule against the both of us by beheading. Unfortunately, our head is gonna get chopped off, both of us. It's because, as per Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, I don't want to disrespect him, he would say, kill the doer who's doing it and kill who's receiving it. In his holy words, that's what he said in his holy hadith. That's what we call it, the holy hadith. It's like a talk of Prophet Muhammad. Like, and in the Holy Quran, um, it was mentioned that, like, let's all remember what happened to Sodom and Gomorrah when God sent that angel to flip their town upside down, when God come to know that they were having, sexual intercourse with the same exact sex. And it's condemned in the Islamic religion with death, unfortunately. By chopping the head off, of course, there's no other prosecution for it. Whatever people are reading or hearing, being tossed by high buildings, stoned. Let me explain the stone area. The stone area is when a woman and a man, both of them are not married, and they got into a sexual intercourse. That's when they both get stoned. That's for adultery. That's the prosecution for adultery. Tossing gay men or gay women from a high tower or a building or a skyrise, it doesn't exist. Unfortunately, it was created by ISIS. They were trying to impose the Islamic rules, and they were misrepresenting Islam in a very bad way. But none of that is true. Yes, it is mentioned in the Quran that it is a sin, and the person who is performing that sexual act with the same exact sex person he's gonna have his head chopped off. Yep. Just
So, do you find that you are less connected to religious teachings because of what has happened to you?
what I've been through, yes. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not praying the 5 prayers every single day on a rug. Go wash myself with water like Muslims do. My people do. Muslims, whatever. I do hold a lot of my culture, like inside of me, like in the way I treat people. Like I treat them with dignity and decency, of course. But sometimes, my brain plays games on me. Like sometimes it tells me, Abdul, what the hell are you doing? Sometimes, Abdul, just ignore. Like when in the cartoons, when you have a demon on your shoulder and an angel, the angel tells you stop, the demon says don't stop. That's what I was in a dilemma, like who to listen, which part of my brain. Sometimes I do get regrets of leaving, but sometimes I'm happy that I came to, the safety, that my ship docked or landed in safe waters here in the United States. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yes, I do feel homesick, and it's stabbing me every single day inside of my heart. I'm not gonna lie to anyone. If definitely, like, even if I smile, but behind that smile, believe me, Ricardo, it's full of sadness. It's not easy, and I don't wish it on anyone to go through what I've been through. Honestly, yep.
So, what
Excuse me.
what are some of the things that you would say you miss most about your home besides the food?
Uh, I'm I'm gonna be honest with you, Ricardo. There's nothing, a corner or a ceiling or floor or a blanket or or a particular cement or dust or sand in that country that I don't miss. I miss my friends. I miss my mom. And I hold no grudges against them, Richardo. I have no hard feelings whatsoever against them. After at the end of the day, they're my family. No matter what they say, no matter what they do, I still love them. I miss my sister, of course. She's been there the whole time. My mom has been there the whole time. My mom talks to me like sometimes every now and then to check up on me. Um, my dad, I'm going to be honest with you, Richardo, my dad, since he's working in the government, since COVID started, hit the United States. I mean, hit the whole wide world, not the United
Mhm.
States only. But let me talk specifically about the United States. The King of Saudi Arabia sent free aircrafts to pick the affected Saudi Arabians or whoever nationality, whether American, Europeans want to go back to Saudi Arabia to safety, may because they think like bringing, like the United States, when someone is in distress in a different country, the United States will send someone to pick him up. It's the same thing that Saudi Arabia is doing. They picked up a lot of people, Saudi Arabians or whatever nationality, working in the nationwide, took them back to Saudi Arabia for safety when the coronavirus started. My one of my friends who works at the airport actually, and he's connected with the government. He told me, Abdul Rashed, call. He told me that your father was at the hospital. Sorry, was at the airport looking at the manifest of the whole aircraft that King Salman sent it to the United States, and he was crying. He was crying like he could not locate my name. He did not see my name in the list, and he was like crying, and everybody was like, "Dad, father, are you okay?" Because we don't. Not it's not because he's their father. We use the term "father, are you okay?" or "uncle" in the Arabian culture. We don't call the older person either father or uncle. He doesn't have to be related. He was crying like I think it might be some kind of regret that he had to reach to that level where he had to kick me out and disown me. And the only thing that hurted my feelings so deeply, um, I have nothing against my dad. Just to be honest with you, Richardo, before I say that phrase that my dad used, you're a dirty sperm. I wish I had never had you. It's just, when you drop a pin in a well, water well, and just keeps. It's
Mhm.
just that's. It's not because I was giving it a cold shoulder or ignoring it. It's just I'm telling you how I feel. It's just like it kept on falling, falling, falling nonstop. That's how I feel. And uh, I'm gonna be honest with you. If there was a time machine, um, I wouldn't redo or wipe that particular page. Me coming here to the United States. Yes, I am scared. It's not really easy. I'm gonna be honest with you. Um, uh, so many. I'm sorry for putting it in a very slang way. So many. Oh, he's a new cake in town. Everybody wants to get a piece of it. They've never seen me. They've never seen the face. I'm not just trying to disrespect our own LGBTQ people. No, it's just I was so innocent. I didn't know. I was like, I'm a type of a person who thought like, what do you call it? Uh, I thought it's like a Brokeback Mountain type of, you know, life. If you
Right.
know what I mean, love and living happily after. I'm not trying to disrespect anyone. No, it's just It's not my decision or trying to judge anyone, but I'm gonna tell you, it's not really easy to transfer from a country to another, especially when you're new.
Hmm.
And but it was fun. It was a bumpy ride, but it was fun at the end of the day. Yeah.
I mean, there are, like I listened to you talking about your relationship with your dad, and
Yeah.
I think that
Correct.
there are a lot of Caribbean and American fathers who have disowned or kicked out uh,
Religiously, yes.
their children just because of their sexuality. Some of them even just on the basis of an assumption. And
Correct.
so, not even thinking about the trauma that they're thrusting their child into,
Yeah.
and thinking about kind of like the lifelong um, impact of doing so, and just being disowned, and you know
Yeah, I know. It's
it's
like
it's
crazy. I swear. Believe
yeah,
me, it is
it's
so
it's
crazy.
pretty.
It's
uh,
really hard to get disowned by your own. I don't know how to say it in English, but I'll correct me if it was wrong. If you were disowned by your own loins, is that
mhm.
correct phrase to put it that way? Your own flesh and blood, in other words.
Yep.
It's so hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. Uh, like I am so happy that I'm healthy and alive
Right.
and breathing up to date. Yep.
And you had some resources and the ability to make a decision to leave and to go someplace of safety. And
Yes.
oftentimes a lot of folks do not have the resources to leave, and they do not have the ability to leave. uh,
Because they're scared mostly.
they're scared because they're like, if I leave, where do I go? Also, a lot of times they're younger than you are. They're
Correct.
teenagers and preteens, and
Correct. Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
like, what do
Believe
I do? And
Believe
so
me, it's like a horror story, honestly, like by leaving because they think mostly about where am I gonna be ending up.
Mhm.
Like, am I it's gonna is it gonna be I'm sorry for putting it this way, is it gonna be in the streets? Is it gonna be in a shelter? Is it gonna be and some I'm gonna be honest with you, like I'm not judging again. It's just minority. I'm not talking about everybody. It's just a minority, like tiny, very tiny percentage. People think when I want to get to know them or sit down or talk to them or have a drink or you know, like a regular conversation, wherever, which if it's a bar, a gay nightclub, or whatever, or a cafe, and they think I'm after. I'm sorry, Ricardo, for putting it this way. They think I'm after a green card or citizenship or a passport. Like, no, I'm not. I'm not after any of that. Actually, it's just it hurts me just like to get to know someone, and he already has this assumption in the back of his head. Oh, okay, yeah. Uh, Let me just do some soul searching. Oh, I'm sorry, we're not compatible. Sometimes it gets to that level. Like, I'm not looking for any of that. Sorry, I'm just like I need to get to know someone in real life where I can talk to, go out with, but it's like a circle, a group. You know, if it didn't open, like you won't be in, or the. This is my own personal assumption, actually.
Right. No, it can be very cliquish at times.
Yep,
There-
that's what I meant. Yeah.
It's very cliquish at times. There's a question
Yes, please.
inside the chat that says, what would they have done?" And I'm assuming that was, what would they have done if they found out. You already spoke about this, so I think I can
Correct.
recap it.
Sure.
Ultimately, it can lead to him being beheaded.
Correct.
Um, there is a process, but the end is
Is
what it
death.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
And there's another question: is do you know anyone else that is here in secret, or
Yes, actually, I do know a lot of runaways. I'm sorry, I don't know if that's the right phrase for it, but I would say runaways. Yes, I do. I know one in Nashville as we speak. He's a very close friend of mine. Number two, I do know my high school friend. He's in Walton Manors. We studied like what I'm sorry, what we usually say, two buttocks in one underwear, like we're very close. It's just a phrase we use it in the Middle East, how close we are. I'm sorry, y'all in the chat, forgive me. It's just a phrase we use it like how close we are, very close friends. I was shocked to see him here. We started crying and hugging each other like crazy. He ran away as well. I do have three other friends from Saudi Arabia as well. They live down in Walton Manors, and the other people that I know, they're Middle Easterns. I'm sorry, Arabs. We're all Arabs, but not specifically Saudi Arabians. But
okay?
yeah, Arabs, Lebanon, Jordan, Syria, Iraq, Iran, of course. Yeah, because we do have the same exact culture. Because we share the same holy book, but they might get jailed, detained in jail over there in their countries. It's different from what we my country do as Islamic laws, like get our head chopped off. And the mic is back to you, Richardo.
Okay. So do you find that you have created your own community yet, or do you still feel like you're unsure about connecting with people?
Um, I am the still same exact decent sweet person. But I still have those up. The guard. I still have the guard up. It's not because I lost trust. It's just to whom to put that trust in. Because I'm not saying that I got sting before or bitten. Yes, I might have, but it doesn't mean that everybody else is going to be the same. Like what we usually say in the Middle East. Let me point it in the camera. Like those fingerprints. Are we? Do we all have the same fingerprints? Nope. Everybody has his own signature or fingerprint. That's the same thing, exact thing with people. They're not all the same. So I came to a conclusion that I do have a lot of people that loves me and cares about me and wants to see me um, the best the best way I can of me personally. Um, I would like to thank a person who has been doing that for me for almost a year and a half when I had no one. When the door just slammed in my face, I had no food to eat. No, I was drinking water from the sink, which I have no problem with it. Um, and you know who I'm talking about, Ricardo.
Mm-hmm.
He's around me, yeah. And I had to call some organizations. I wasn't able to pay rent. I had to call an organization from Miami. I don't want to flash their name out. I don't want a lawsuit or something. Uh, Honestly, they came and helped out. They filled up my fridge with everything I needed, actually, or as a daily human necessity. It happened to me where I broke down and I died twice at the hospital because I had the Delta variant and no one was there to pick me up. I mean, not pick me up. It's like, you know, when you fall, someone picks you up. There was no one there to pick me up.
You had no support system, basically.
Yeah. Um, My ex-boyfriend didn't even bother to show up. He doesn't care. Um, like, uh, I told him already, I'm so sorry that you are this way, but unfortunately, the relationship, or I wouldn't call it relationship, I would say fooling around. That was that was it. That was like deal breaker. The hospital tried to contact him like over 3 times, and when he came the fourth time, I asked like he needs to leave peacefully because I have my phone next to me and I can just call the authorities and have him removed and taken away from the premises of the hospital. And you know when you're sick and you're angry and you're mad and you're sad and crying at the same time, you cannot manage what you say or what you do sometimes, especially when you're angry. You could say so many hurtful words, so many bad words.
Right.
That was it. When I was at the hospital, I don't want to see you anymore. Leave me alone peacefully. If you care about me and love me, just leave me alone. I've done it alone, and I can still do it alone until the angel, that person, came out and helped me out. And it was a really nice and sweet of him. What I usually say, that my mom praying to God to have wings over my shoulder. What I mean by wings, angels, like protection angels. And thank God, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't I wouldn't be where I am right now. Um, he was the only one who was there. He was the only one who picked me up when I was sick. He was the only one who took me to the hospital when I had a boo boo or an ouch. uh, I'm sorry, I'm crying. I'm very emotional, you guys, and he was there. At least he was there 24/7, regardless of the ups and downs that me and that person we go through. And he gave me money when I hadn't had any. He gave me food when I hadn't any. Um, he gave me chocolate, like it's a silly, simple thing, a bar of chocolate, when I wasn't able to buy it from a grocery or a convenience store because it was too expensive for me to purchase a chocolate, like Kit Kat, for example. I wasn't able to afford it. Like it's free. I don't know how much is it. I think it's $3 by now. And but it doesn't change my perspective about being part of the LGBT community or anyone else. They're still my people, our people, excuse me. I'm still gonna support them, and whoever he is or she is, whatever background or religious background, or if I was able to help out with people running away from the Middle East, I'd be more than happy to do that as well. And anyone else who needs that kind of help, that specific type of help. And the mic is back with you, Richard. Go ahead. I know it feels
I
like
like
we're
that. I'm gonna start using that. And the mic is back to you.
yep, like we're in a football. Yeah, I know.
Um, what would you say? What are you looking? I know, like you're still, you still have a lot going on. You're
Yep,
still getting acclimated. You
yep,
still have, things that you need to work out. But
correct.
like, and looking ahead past all of that, like, what would you say you're looking forward to the most?
Just like love the person regardless of where he's from, whether he's from Saudi Arabia or don't look at his country, because always people judge. Because I'm from Saudi Arabia, you understand the rest. What I'm trying to say is like, I don't want to say the word, but it's just
Yeah.
some kind of racially. Just look at that.
Do you find, do people say that to you though? Do people make that assumption or use that?
I actually received, yes. It's just one person. He only represents himself. He does not represent the whole American community, people. I was called the T word, if you know
Mm.
what I mean by the T word.
Yeah,
Um,
one of our guests has asked that question. So
yes. I was called the N word, um, because due to my skin tone. I'm very proud of it, by the way. I'm not ashamed of it at all. Um, like I was called camel, blah 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 blah. You know what I mean about what comes after camel. I was called sand, then whatever comes after it. But honestly, you guys, it does not put me down. It does not like pull me down or something. No, I still keep my head up high in the sky. And like I said, they only represent themselves. They do not represent the whole American people. Nope. 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 Hell no.
I like your outlook. I think that's very
Yeah,
admirable.
it's very bright perspective. Yeah, yeah, I do have a bright future. Look at the future. I'm very happy with it so far. I don't want to predict it. Like what we usually say in the Middle East, you don't want to raise your neck so high up in the sky. You don't want to break your neck. I
Okay.
just leave it levelized.
Okay. I mean, that's a good way of looking at it. You don't want to create too much expectations
Yes,
um,
that's what I meant.
on the
Correct.
future, but you know,
Yep.
I think it's good. I'm glad that you were able to kind of like at least portion of it for you is that
Yep.
there's hope and that there are
That glance at the end of the tunnel, the light, that
exactly
shines. It doesn't have to be bright, but a little bit. One day it's gonna bright up. Sure.
closer you get to the end
Yep.
of
Yes,
it.
sir. Correct.
Yeah. Is there what's one thing if there are anyone who is watching this who is from the Middle East or from Saudi Arabia who's ran away, escaped,
Yeah.
find their way here, what's one thing that you would say to kind of like help them with this transition in
Speak up.
terms of
Always speak up. Speak up. Speak up. Whatever you were hiding, where you were, you need to speak up because you're not gonna get the type or kind of help if you keep your mouth shut. I've been keeping my mouth shut. I've been wearing a mask my whole life. I had to, yeah, yeah, dude, let's go talk to that girl's. Not anymore. You can be, but the only worst thing about besides speaking up, we still look over our shoulder. We still think that I'm still, oh my god, I'm gonna be chased by the religious police. I still have that feeling inside of me. I know that I am living in the United States. No one can harm me, and I'm protected by the American law right here, which I fully appreciate them for what they've been doing to me, and they haven't let me down, thank God. And it's just the fear. We still have that Arabian fear of getting caught. I know that we're in free country right now, but we still have that fear. But top thing, top priority, speak up. Speak up. You need to speak up. We're not trying to denigrate the reputation of our country. I'm not trying to go against my country. It's where I've been. That's where I've been born, brought up, taught English, learned English as well. My mom is from there. My dad is from there. My brothers and sisters are from there. My friends are from there. So I would never like rebel against them by going social media and fighting. Oh, don't go to Saudi Arabia. No, no, no. But just only speak up because people won't understand if you keep your mouth shut. Because Silence is not going to help or put back what has been broken.
So you mentioned that you learned English and all of that good stuff. How many languages do you speak?
I speak English.
Mhm.
السلام عليكم. أنا أتحدث اللغة العربية. Uh, let me translate what I just said. I speak Arabic, the Arabic language. السلام عليكم. أحبائي شكرا لكم. شكرا لكم means thank you very much. شكرا لكم لمجيئكم هنا في هذا المنصة. Thank you for coming for this to this platform and listening out. And I'm working on my habla español.
Okay.
Sí, un poquito. Yes.
That
Is because people mix me up. I love it. I love it. I feel so flattered and very honored and pleasured as well. Like, uh, hola, ¿cómo estás, amigo? Muy bien, ¿y tú? Like, they think I'm either Brazilian or Puerto Rican, which is I'm very flattered. Yeah, it's so sweet and kind of them. So the reason why I want to learn it is because it goes with the looks. Yeah, I know. It goes with the looks. Like it's so cute. Like thank you for like speaking to me in
that
Spanish.
was not the answer that I was expecting. Learning a language because it goes with the look. You know, I'm happy.
Yeah, it's just to spice it up, put a little bit of a laugh on top of it, on top of this sadness,
Okay.
whatever we've been talking about. Yeah,
What would you say is your greatest struggle or challenge right now?
my greatest struggle, you know, let me see. Transportation actually is my greatest struggle at the moment.
Okay.
My transportation is like on the worst is on my worst list is blacklist. It's been hard for me to get around the country or nationwide. Um, trying like for example going from point A to point B or B to A. Um, I have tried everything and but unfortunately, it was really hard. I'm not trying to disrespect the immigration people. It was a little bit hard to get a driving license. It was like back and forth between the immigration and the DMV. The DMV with immigration bounce it back to the DMV. It's just those this is those two things, the transportation problem and getting the license DMV done is my two worst nightmares at the moment. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I don't. Their story
Uh,
is amazing.
yeah. And one more thing to add. I can't get a good job without transportation. Like there is a lot of opportunities starting from West Palm Beach, Florida, down to Fort Lauderdale, down to Miami. The pay is really good. Everything is perfect. It's just a transportation problem. It's just I knew that there are a lot of means of transportation, but Ricardo, if you know what I mean, like it takes forever for you to get there.
It's not convenient at all.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
Listen,
honest with you. Yep.
if for the folks who live in South Florida, they all know it is. If you're from the Northeast and you've moved
Yes.
down here to South Florida,
Yes.
you will know that it is easier for you to get from like Utica Avenue in Brooklyn all the way to the end of
Yep.
the four line
Yep.
in 45 minutes to an hour,
Yeah.
and that's
And
going through 3 counties.
yes,
And
sir.
there are probably about maybe somewhere between 23 to 30 something stops along the way. And our tri-rail system here in the state of Florida, well, in South Florida, is only probably like less than 15 stops to Miami from Palm Beach County.
Oh
It
yeah.
goes 3 counties, and it takes like about 2 to 3 hours just to get there.
Correct. And
It's
let's
ridiculous,
not forget about the safety wise.
right? Well, we can't build tunnels here because
Oh yeah.
I think a good solution would be to just elevate the tri rail.
Yeah.
Just elevate it
It's-
and
they need to fix the prices. Believe
and
me.
just and speed it up.
And yeah, yes. And honestly, Ubering from all the way from West Palm Beach, Florida. Let's say I got a job in Miami or Fort Lauderdale International Airport because this is my passion to always since I was a little boy to work in aviation. Um, is just paying Uber just to get there is like 60 up to $150 just to get there for it. Although the distance is only for 40 minutes. I don't know why they're asking for those astrological numbers. Like, wow. And I'm gonna be honest with you, Ricardo. Like, let's say I have a job in Miami right now. I'm losing half of my whatchamacallit, my
Yeah.
paycheck
Hmm.
on transportation just to be able to stay alive. Like alive, like I'm not saying that I'm in a bad condition or anything. It's just like a way of saying I want to stay alive, eat, um, dress decently, uh, drink. Not, I mean, by that, not alcohol. You guys drink decently, um, clean up decently, shower decently, fix my hair decently. It's just, it's really hard, Richard. Not having, I don't mind, I don't care, I don't give a hell damn about it, excuse my language, even if it was a bicycle. It's just, a bicycle, at least it takes you somewhere, you know what I mean, Richardo?
Right.
Or a moped, for example. I don't care whatsoever transportation. It's basic needs. It's just, I tried everything like to, excuse me, you guys, sorry about that. It's just basic needs and I'm unable to cover it. Like I'm not asking for too much. It's just like I don't care what my like I don't know what to say, Ricardo. It's just part of a human being necessity of having transportation just to get
It's
and
it's a human condition. We all
yes,
listen. We all need transportation to get to someplace. That,
and you get lashed by your manager. You're late. Oh, this is a deduction. You need to sign that warning. I don't want to put myself in that position because
right.
I need that money more than I don't know anyone else. Maybe. What do you want, sir? What do you want me to do? It's either Brightline or, and you, as you stated, how many stops are there? Like 20 or 15, 20 stops in front of me just to get to work. It's just I'm
Yeah.
giving you an example of a daily struggle.
No, I totally understand. So you're saying having a vehicle would
Yeah,
having a little car
would
would
help a lot, Richardo. Like if there was a help, I'm not asking for uh, or Benz or Mercedes or a Bentley. I'm sorry, I'm just using it as like I don't care as long that it has radio and air conditioning. I don't care what type of car is it as long it takes me from here to here. That's all I'm asking. This distance, just to cover that distance. Um, and to add to that, Richardo, I'll be more than happy to provide the documentation that supports everything I said to you. Why am I here? Why did I leave? And I do have my lawyer. God bless her. She can also explain my situation, and I'll be more than happy to provide it to anyone who wants to know my documents, like read the whole story because, when you ask for asylum, you have to build this big story like about what you've been through, and the transportation is part of it.
Okay.
Yep.
So, guys, we're nearing that time. I want to thank you for being on the show, and we want to give you an opportunity to help. Rashid has been asking one of his greatest needs right now is transportation, and you out there who are watching have the power to help, and you can help him to ease his struggles with his transportation so this way he can take care of himself. This way he can get around, get to work. He's not trying to find a vehicle so he can go run around town and just hang out and chill. He's really looking for something so this way he can use it to continue to support himself and to continue to make sure that he is able to, make an income. So, um, if you would like to know how you can contribute to him,
Excuse me.
there is a Cash App that we're going to be sharing in a few minutes. And so, if you feel obliged, you can go ahead and make a donation to him. I'm going to put that up on the screen for you. Um, you can Cash App him at Rashid AJ. Um, uh, and you can help him to be able to find something that transportation that he can use to get around, get back and forth to work, so he can support himself and make his journeys lighter. If you live here in South Florida, transportation is not the most convenient. It is very difficult to communicate via public transportation, especially if you have to go, um, is it intercounty? And if you have to go outside of your county, or if you have to travel more than a couple of miles each day, more than 5 miles each day, it can be very cumbersome and costly. And the tri-rail does not, it stops at certain places, but then you have to get off and take a bus, or you have to take an Uber, or there's more walking involved, or it can just be a whole lot to be able to get around. And as someone who came from the Northeast and is used to taking public transportation while having a vehicle, I understand it from both ends. But I also understand that New York City's transportation is nothing compared to what's here. So if you can make a donation, large or small, medium, just go ahead. The information is right here on your screen. Anything that you can do to help him on his way, that would be greatly appreciated. Do you have any final words you would like to share with us?
Thank you for having me, Richardo. I know it's been a while for me, hesitant to get on live with you due to the circumstances I'm going through to safety and security reasons. I'm sorry. I would like to thank you for taking the time to meet up with me. I would like to thank you towards the ladies and gentlemen that were in the chat area. I would like to thank them very much for joining and to know the reality of being gay in forbidden holy lands. Let me put it that way. And thank you guys for your time in the chat area. Thank you, Richardo, as well. It was an honor to be with you on live today. And like I said, you guys, anything would help. I don't care if it's a bicycle, I swear to God. It's just, I'm just speechless right now. It's just a bicycle. I don't care what transportation means. Anything would help. I don't care if it's a moped. I don't care if it's a tiny, tiny car. You know those cars that we used to play with a with a key in the back. I don't care if it's that car, even if it even exists in human size. And that's I'm just telling you how desperate, like struggling, desperate I am right now with transportation, and it's really hard. Like Richardo mentioned, and I appreciate all of you for your time and listening to me, and hopefully to meet up with you guys soon again in a better situation.
Thank you.
My pleasure. You're very welcome. You have a great night, you guys, and to you too, Richardo, as well.
Thank you very much.
You have a great night. You're very welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to find out for more services for PrEP, for hepatitis C, for HIV services, please go ahead and give us a call at 561-208-6595. And we just want to encourage you, take the test. It's better to know your status. So take the test. Check us out at www.campbellhealth.org, or you can follow us on social media platforms at LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We look forward to sharing valuable information. We look forward to bringing you stories and the issues that are impacting the lives of people right here in our community. And so we want to make sure that you have all the tools you need so you can take care of yourself, take care of your families, and take care of your communities. And part of that begins with knowing your HIV status. So if you've never been tested, if you would like to get tested, please give us a call and we can get you set up for you to take a test free of charge, by the way. And also, we have at home HIV test kits. So if you reach out to us, we can definitely connect you with one or get one to you. And we also have condoms, which you can access either virtually or you can stop by and pick some up. They are all offered to you free of charge. So let us know. Give us a call at 561-208-6595, or you can visit our website at campbellhealth.org, www.campbellhealth.org. Talk to you soon. Have a wonderful night. Bye bye.